Hello friends, this video on Ecosystem Part 2 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let us discuss the types of ecosystem. The types of ecosystem are based on certain criteria. Now, based on the way an ecosystem was established, they are categorized into two types: natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Now, these two types of ecosystem are based on how the ecosystem was established, whether it established on its own, that is, it established naturally, or human beings established that ecosystem. So we will talk about natural and artificial ecosystem in little more detail. Now, there is another parameter based on which ecosystem can again be categorized into two different types. So what is that category? Based on where it is established. So where that ecosystem exists, whether it is on land or on water, ecosystem can further be classified into two types, that is terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. So terrestrial means land. So the ecosystem which exists on land, they are called terrestrial ecosystem, and the ecosystem existing in water is called aquatic ecosystem. So what is natural ecosystem? So natural ecosystem is a self-established ecosystem in nature. Now, what do we mean by self-established? That means the ecosystem came up naturally. Nobody created that ecosystem. So that is why it is called natural ecosystem. Now, some of the examples of natural ecosystems are forests, rivers, ponds, oceans. So these are all examples of natural ecosystem because we do not create the forest. So nature creates the forest on its own. Similarly, the rivers, the ponds, they are created naturally. So they are all examples of natural ecosystem. So you talk about any of these, whether you talk about a river or a pond or a forest, you see that in each of these ecosystems you have a group of living organisms, some non-living organisms, and they are constantly interacting with each other. So that is how they are all ecosystems. The next type of ecosystem is artificial ecosystem. So this type of ecosystem is created and maintained by human beings. That is why it is called artificial ecosystem or man-made ecosystem. So both of them mean the same thing. Now, examples of such ecosystems would be garden, aquarium, zoo. Now, zoo is one of the simplest examples. I'm sure all of you would have visited zoo sometime or the other. So when you go to a zoo, do you think that it has been naturally created? Nature did not create it. Human beings created a zoo. So they brought different types of animals in that particular zoo, and they provided an environment suitable for the survival of those animals. So that is how zoo is created by human beings. Similarly, garden. Even if you take the example of the small lawn or the small garden which you have in your house, so that garden is also an ecosystem because the different plants, the small insects, the birds which are present there, they are the living components of that ecosystem. And the non-living components would be the water, soil, air, they are the non-living components. So that means these are examples of ecosystem which are created and then maintained by human beings. So this is what is artificial and natural ecosystem. Now let us see terrestrial ecosystem. As I said, terrestrial word is always associated with something which lives or something which stays on land. So ecosystems found on land are called terrestrial ecosystems. Now examples of such ecosystems would be forest, desert, grassland. So these are examples of terrestrial ecosystems. Now these are comparatively simpler terms where not much of explanation is required. You can understand them at ease. So these are some of the examples. On the other hand, aquatic ecosystems would be those which are found in water. Aquatic word is associated with aqua. Aqua means water. So examples would be, yes, pond, river, oceans, lakes. These are all examples of aquatic ecosystems. Now these are the various categories of ecosystem based on where are they found or how they originated. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.